Hey, NC fam! Welcome to episode 2 of the Millennial Money series, and I want to thank you for coming. It shows me that you have taken your financial literacy very seriously. And for those who have subscribed to Naturally Candid, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you. And for those who are just visiting and have not yet subscribed, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the like button, and you can leave your comments down in the comments section below. In today's video, as the title might have already said, I will be showing you guys a basic concept in growing an emergency fund, or the fund they also call rainy day money. So in today's video, that is what we will be doing. As the name suggests, an emergency or a rainy day fund is money that you will need in the case of an emergency or in the case of some unforeseen circumstances that you really just don't have control of. So you will get to understand that this fund is very important for everybody to have in their financial plan. The emergency fund is one of the most important components of your financial plan because you don't know what can happen. Any little Murphys can come up and you don't have control of them. So yes, it's very important. I'm going to ask you a question, and this question might make some people feel uncomfortable after you've thought about it. The question is, do you have an emergency fund? Think about it, and I want you to think carefully about it. Do you have an emergency fund? If you do not yet understand the concept about emergency fund, don't worry about it because we will be getting into it. If in your mind, after you've thought about it, you don't have one, that is trouble there. But guess what? I am here. Don't worry. Have no fear. I am here. So I'm here to help you. Don't worry about it. As an educator, I realize that my students love to do activity and they learn better through activities. So welcome to practical class, where everything that you are going to be learning, you will be using in a step-by-step process in practicality. Make sure that when I am through with this video, you start your plan. As a matter of fact, we will be going through your planning of events to put your emergency fund into fruition. So I'm not even going to be worrying about that because through this video, it's going to be a very practical video. So through this video, you will need your pencils or your pens and paper. So get that. From the start, me I tell you, so not just get that. I make we just go through the thing together. Alright. The aim is to keep 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses, and these are recurring expenses that come up every single month. So the aim is to keep 3 to 6 months worth of that in your emergency fund. Activity is coming your way. Activity is here. When we say activity is coming your way, activity is here. Okay, so activity 1 goes as follows. The instruction is as follows. I want you to write down all the recurring expenses that you have each and every single month. These, what I'm basically saying is that these expenses show up every month. So I want you to write down those expenses, all of them. Easy, right? Are you finished with writing your list of expenses? Great. Now multiply that total by 3. Now when you multiply the total by 3, that is the amount you will need to reserve for your 3 months emergency fund. If you want to have a 6 months emergency fund, which is normally what I would want to do, because you know the longer you put down the money, the more room it gives you in the case of an emergency. So if you want to know the 6 months amount that you need, then you just simply multiply the total by 6 and you will get what you need for a 6 month emergency fund. Take for example this diagram here on the screen. It will show you the number of months as well as the amount in total for the cumulative expenses. Now on my diagram, I have an example. It doesn't have to be your reality, so you're going to just simply write your reality on paper. But I'm just giving an example. So the example here is that for this person, for person A, their total number of expenses per month is $65,000. So for month 1, the person will need to have $65,000 to clear the expenses. Month 2, when you add month 1 and month 2 together, then you will get $130,000. Then you go to month 3, you will see $195,000. Month 4, $260,000. Month 5, $325,000. And month 6, $390,000. If it is that you are going to be having, say for example, if it is that this person is going to be having a 3 month emergency fund, then in total they will need to have $195,000 in reserve. Now if they were going to, which is the case here, if they were going to get a 6 months emergency fund, then in total they will need to have $390,000 in reserve. That is money that is not going to be touched for anything. It is just there for emergencies and emergencies only. If you still don't understand why you need this money, here's why you need to stash this money like really quick. Now we live in uncertain times with uncertain economies. That means that nobody is sure of anything given any little unforeseen circumstances. Now take COVID-19 for example. This COVID-19 pandemic has really opened the eyes for many because a lot of jobs are becoming redundant. I have been seeing so many things coming out in the Gleaner and the Observer. For example, Alorica in Portmore permanently closed. You know how much people lose them job now? How many persons were made redundant as a result of that? And I read something again about Appleton, who is now making some of the positions redundant. So that's another set of persons that will be losing their jobs. So that goes to show you that having an emergency fund it should be an immediate move, because if you have an emergency fund, what that will do is to kind of shield you a little bit from all the expenses that you have, because the expenses are still coming. Whether you have a job or not, the expenses are still coming. So it will shield you for a particular time until you start to get back up on your feet with something else. And it can even help you to start your own business that would generate some more income in the case if you lose your job. So it serves very much good purposes. Trust me on that. Yes, I know there are persons out there who are afraid of figures, or for a bigger term, mathematics. Matter in your eye and ticks in your body. That's the way you spell mathematics. I'm crazy, you have to stay with me. Anyways, I know there are persons out there who is afraid of mathematics, but let me tell you something. When it comes down to your finances, you need to know your figures when it comes on to your finances. With all that in mind, let us consider how we can possibly save for the emergency fund. Alright, let me just say this. In order to have this money ready, you have to put it together just like any other financial plan or goal. You're going to make a plan for it, step-by-step plan, and then you are going to execute that plan. It's as simple as that, but we'll get more into that. So again, you will need your pen or pencil and a piece of paper, or preferably a book, so you can always go back to it and you don't lose the paper. But if you only have paper, that's fine. So we have to put this now into practicality, because I really want you to get this and get it well. Okay, so the table that you are seeing now on the screen is showing the money that you will need over 2.5-year period and 5-year period. Now the example that you are seeing is based on the example I've given earlier with the person A. So whatever your reality is, we are going to now apply your figures to this table. This on the screen is just an example. In order for one to know how much they will be having to pay, you would have to look at the length emergency fund that you want, whether 3 months or 6 months or in between that, maybe 4 or 5 months. Then you look at the total amount based on the activity given earlier. You look at the total amount for those periods. If you choose 3 months, as I will be representing on my screen, I will be using 3 months and the 6 months. Now, on the diagram on the screen, I am going to use the 3 months first, and then it would be the same procedure you would use for the 6 months period. Now, in order to get the 3 months emergency fund, in order to know how much to pay per month towards the 3 months emergency fund over a 5-year period or a 2.5 period, is what I will be representing here on the diagram before you. Now, in order to find out how much to pay for 5 years to reach the 3-month goal, is that you would have to divide the total that you have for 3 months. Here, my total is $195,000, and we divide that by 60. When that is divided by 60, for the 3 months 5-year plan, it would have been $6,500. If it is that we're going to be putting this money together over a 2.5-year span, then it would be $13,000. So if you can't afford $13,000 per month, then you have to put the time span a little longer, which you probably put for 5 years. And so you would end up paying, the person would end up paying $6,500. So I want you to go ahead and do that math for yourself and see how much you would have to put per month. And if you want to use a shorter time frame too, you can. It's optional. I just use 2.5 years and 5 years as an example. If you want to put this money together by 1 year time or 2 year time, you can definitely go ahead and edit my chart, my little table here. It's very simple. You can edit the table and put in your plan. And remember, once you put that plan in, you must execute in order for this plan to be successful. Now that it has been broken down into smaller and achievable goals, it's on you now to just act. If it means, say you have to sell an expensive car and get one cheaper one, then you have to go do it. If it means, say you have to stop by clothes and shoes, then you have to go stop doing it. For now, it's not like it's a life sentence. It's just for now. If it means that you have to stop eat out and start cooking your yard, you have to go do it. If it means, say, you have to go cut down on your going out and whatever. I mean, COVID-19 pandemic kind of slowed that down, but we know you put the money somewhere else, so put the money there to your emergency fund. Alright? What I want you to do is to treat it like a regular expense that you have every month. You know why your internet cut off, you know why your cable cut off, you know why your lights and water cut off, you know why your emergency fund cut off, neither. So treat it like a regular expense that you have per month. Yeah, you cannot go wrong. The best places to keep this emergency fund is in money market funds or in high interest savings. In the previous video here, you will see where I spoke about JMMB. JMMB is a good interest savings account that you can definitely put your emergency fund in. So that's an option. There are other options out there, but that's a very good option that you can probably consider. Once you have garnered this cash or this amount of cash, guard it safely. Guard it safely and carefully, and this is the reason why. It is not money that you just go into and you withdraw and take out every minute. No, this is only for emergencies. Only emergency, nothing else. And an important tip to also highlight is that Should your salary increase, don't bother increase your expenses. Keep your expenses the same and contribute the additional funds to your emergency fund. It helps you to get your emergency fund faster. So that's another way you can put money towards the emergency fund, because as your salary increases, you can put that increase as well on the emergency fund and tip your table into that direction. I hope that this was helpful to you, and let us make the rest of this year count. Drop your comments down below, hit the like and subscribe button, and share with your friends. Thank you for staying tuned. See you in the next video.